This woman slept with 100 men in 14 hours. This got 38 million views on Twitter. It's been going viral on the internet. So I'm going to share this video. You're going to watch it right now. And then once I finish presenting the video to you, we're going to go through the comments, see what people say. And I'm going to give you a rundown on 9 reasons of why having a high body count is shameful. Because this is something that a lot of young men and women are deceived into thinking that promiscuity and sleeping around is cool and it's something to be proud of.
Three guys run a train on me with my friend Bonnie. Now that video is actually out now, so if you want to check that out, you know where to go. But if you want to be a part of the next one, I'm actually doing 100 guys in one day. So head on over to my Twitter to find out how to apply. Morning, so today is the day where I get run through by 100 guys. How many condoms I have? Fuck's sake. I think this is all I'm going to do with my hair and makeup today. Just a bit of bronzer and a bit of blush. I'm running a little bit late, I think. I'll be totally fine because the boys can't start without me. Oh, not looking too bad. I'm almost there now. We have to a little bit of a late start, but that's fine. I've got time to make it back up.
Hello. How are you doing? How's it going so far? Good. How many are we on?
I think 8.
8 guys?
Yeah,
you enjoying yourself?
Yeah, I am actually. First group scene done. That was a lot of fun. And now I'm on to number 16. Currently 7 PM. I think about 70 people through. This is what the room is looking like. Not in the best state. We've kind of got things everywhere. Someone brought me a rose. Oh my god, I forgot to vlog this. Someone brought me a fucking rose. He was the sweetest boy ever. Got ran through by 101 men. And my eyes are still recovering from all the bodily fluids that went in them. So yesterday I got ran through by 101 guys. Don't mind this, someone actually bit my lip. But last night I didn't end up having a shower. Well, I didn't wash my hair.
Quite sad to see, isn't it? And I cannot believe it myself, especially when I came across this. And a lot of men would watch this clip and think, yeah, women are to blame. Look how promiscuous she is. But at the end of the day, 100 men did that with her. What does that say about the state of some modern men? Now, I'm doing this video primarily as a caution, because I know there's young people who watch my channel. You're in your late teens, you're in your early 20s, you're at college, university, first time away from family, or you're finally starting to interact with the opposite sex. Maybe you're going out on a few dates. And the promiscuous lifestyle is something that has been glamorized in the last, especially ramped up in the last 10, 20 years. And there are young people that engage in this lifestyle. And to those who are inexperienced or considering preserving their purity and not giving their body out, you may feel tempted that maybe you're missing out. Maybe peer pressure is true and you should give this lifestyle a shot. But this is absolutely disgusting and it brings no value to you. So let's just go through the comments. I left a comment myself on this video. Absolutely disgusting. And she is completely proud of herself. You can see there's no shame, there's no remorse. And she's just doing a little vlog as if this is something to be proud of. Let's see what some people have to say. My heart goes out to her dad, future husband, I doubt it, future husband, and kids for when they see this video. 1.8 million views. Looks like a cry for help. Yep. Hot take. The dudes sitting around in that room waiting their turn are more disgusting than her. And this is a point that I wanted to bring up. I see it with a lot of modern men. They always want to point the finger, oh, modern women this, modern women that. And that is fair enough. Modern women should be called out for their sins. But modern men are just as bad because they are engaging in this lifestyle. They are promoting this. If there was no demand for a woman like that, she wouldn't be supplying it, would she? How different would the world be if every single man quit pornography? If every single man said no to hookup culture? And if every single man said no to any form of transactional sex like this? Women who may have had this desire or have this urge wouldn't have an outlet to live out that disgusting fantasy they have. And it would make them rethink their values and change. Because let's be honest here. Once you've been ran through by 100 men as a woman, no man with any worth is going to touch you. Same thing goes for the men. If you are going around, sleeping around, getting into triple digits, you'd be lucky to find a good woman that wants to commit to you. It's reality. No one wants this. It's wrong on so many levels. And it is nothing to be proud of. The guys lining up are disgusting. I mean, look at the picture. Some of you guys work better with visuals. Guy number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the list goes on. Some of you are number 100. Even if you're not living this lifestyle, it's so important to vet a woman's sexual history, men. Same for the ladies, important to vet a man's sexual past. No one is proud of a high body count. When push comes to shove, no one is. In a state of pride or sin, like this girl is, sure, she's real happy about it. But when she finally gets sick of this lifestyle and she wants to find Mr. Right, handsome, successful, good man, and he asks her, tell me about your sexual past. I mean, all the videos are out to prove it anyways. She's gonna, I don't know what I was doing, I regret it. And it's like, no guy wants that. Some of you guys are number 10 in line to a girl's body count. You're number 20, you're number 25. And you're too afraid to ask a woman's body count because it might push her away. But you need to ask these questions early on. You need to vet a woman's background. I know people are slating this woman, but there are grown-ass men who actually applied and queued up to do this. Yeah, the men are just as degenerate. Showing the guy shoes. Did she catch herpes? Next year, why won't anyone marry me? It's like live scene. Okay, that's her dad watching this clip right now. It's really sad. This is a broken woman who suffered early childhood trauma, very likely sexually abused, and will never get better unless she's addressed this via extensive therapy and prayer. 1.1 million views. It is true that there are some cases where people engage in a very promiscuous lifestyle due to trauma. But then there are plenty of cases where men and women grow up in perfectly normal environments, but due to their own sin and their own lust, they go down this path. It's a choice. Someone else said that is 7 men every hour, 1 man every 9 minutes. Not sure who's worse, the men or this bucket. Has someone reached out and helped this poor young woman get the help she clearly needs? Where's her family? Not one friend who would try to stop her. And let's talk about the young men who'd line up to do this. We are done. This breaks my heart. Yeah, the men and the women doing this are just as bad as each other. Some of those guys in the waiting room are probably someone's boyfriend, husband. Those men are disgusting too. I completely agree. She needs to find God. That deserves a like from me. Imagine being the 100th dude. This makes me sad. The worst thing to ever happen to the next generation is the endless supply of online porn. I'm glad I grew up in the era of Cinemax, where they were at least through some non-graphic romance. It's sad, but it's true. It's nothing to be proud of. It's not an accomplishment. It's really sad, and all the comments on Twitter are quite funny, right? People making jokes about it, and there's other promiscuous stuff people put in the comments. It's sad, but gentlemen, this stuff is nothing to be proud of. It really isn't. How can you film yourself after doing this and thinking it's an accomplishment. I'm in shock seeing it. 38 million views. For you men out there, this should raise your standard. This should make you more careful of who you involve yourself with. This should tell you that a promiscuous lifestyle is something to avoid. And you better find yourself a good woman who has the same values as you, so that when you have children, you can protect them from going down this path. I really recommend you send this to friends, family. You have a guy friend who thinks he's cool and he wants to start sleeping around, send him that video. You have a sister, right? For you older men watching, you have a daughter who's of age. You can show her this. There used to be a time and a place back in the day where people like this used to be shamed, because shaming works. Calling out a spade for what it is works. Now people have become so soft, you can't even point out somebody's flaws. You can't point out sin or degeneracy because it's offensive. This woman wasn't shamed enough. Those men that think it's cool to engage in that lifestyle with her were also not shamed enough. People let their degeneracy run wild because they're not given proper values from a youth, and they just run rampant. But there are consequences to this. So let's break it down. 9 reasons why a high body count is shameful. A high body count, having many sexual partners, isn't something to be proud of for a variety of reasons. Reason number 1 is because of shallow validation. Seeking validation through casual sex often gives temporary satisfaction, but it doesn't lead to any form of deep self-worth. True confidence comes from personal growth and meaningful connections, not from how many people you've been with. Number 2, high body count devalues intimacy. When sex is frequent and casual, it can lose its deeper emotional and spiritual significance. Instead of building intimacy and trust in a committed relationship, it becomes just a physical act, making it harder to bond deeply with someone in the future. This is why you see the stories and the testimonials. I have many videos on my YouTube channel about this topic, about high body count. I mean, I'll link some down below at the end. They'll pop up on the screen. But some of you know this from personal life, from just stories you've heard from people that you know. When you're with someone that's been ran through or has a high body count, they have so much to compare you to. 20 bodies, 30 bodies, 50 bodies. In this case, this woman has to compare the next guy to the other 100. There's no relatability. It's stripped away the importance of sexual intimacy. It means nothing. It devalues intimacy. How is it intimate for you to give yourself to a woman who has had 100 sexual men as partners and you're laying with her? How is that special? She has tried and done everything under the sun. There's nothing unique or intimate about your experience with her. But it's the same thing for you as a man. If you are sleeping around and racking up yourself a body count, you're devaluing intimacy for yourself and, more importantly, for your future spouse. It will make it harder to bond deeply with someone in the future. There are no two ways about it. Number 3, emotional consequences. Constantly switching partners can lead to emotional exhaustion or disconnection. Over time, it may be difficult to fully invest in someone emotionally, making long-term relationships less satisfying or harder to maintain. This is why you see with highly promiscuous people, they get into a relationship, they always think the grass is greener, they are less likely to pull through difficult times, they're more likely to cheat, they can't really maintain a bond because of what we mentioned just before. They've already devalued intimacy. So one of the emotional consequences is, even if you try to fully invest in someone emotionally, there's like nothing there. You're an empty vessel. It's like the battery doesn't charge anymore. It's broken. Harder to maintain. Number 4, this is a big one. Damaged reputation. Even today in the West, the way it's heading with a more open-minded society, this is still repulsive. Having many sexual partners can carry a stigma. This may impact how others see you, where it might create barriers to finding a partner who values commitment and stability. As a man, if you think a good woman wants a man with a high body count, you have got your head up your ass. Excuse my French. No godly woman who has a low or non-existent body count wants a man who has a high one. I have covered this in other videos, which again, I will link this down below so you can take a look for yourself. But if you don't believe me, go interact with a good woman yourself and be honest and open about this topic, and you will see what good women have to say. The only sort of woman that doesn't care about her future husband's sexual history or past is a woman who is either promiscuous herself or is willing to be. Because a woman who has good values and is offering a clean vessel to her future spouse is going to demand the same. She wants a man with self-control, a man with dignity, a man who doesn't give his body out to any other woman. That's special to her. Same thing as a man. You don't want a woman who's been ran through. It devalues it, right? It goes both ways. As men, we don't want the county bicycle, but women don't want the county pogo stick. That's reality. It does create barriers. High body count is repulsive. Number 5, health risks. Common sense. The more partners you have, the higher your risk of contracting an STI. Even with protection, the risk is still higher compared to having fewer or just one partner. And yes, you can have a one body count, but that one body count you were with, maybe they had 50 bodies and they had an STD and you catch it. That is true as well. It's true. But numbers don't lie and statistics don't lie. The more you sleep around, the higher the chance of you getting involved with someone who it does have an STI. And some STIs are not curable with antibiotics. They're irreversible. They can affect your fertility and they can be passed down through your seed into a woman's womb, damaging not just the health of the woman you are with, but of your children. Effectively leaving them mentally, emotionally handicapped. I mentioned this in a previous video, which again will be linked at the end, in which there was a man and this happened to him. His father had a serious STD, lied to his woman about it. When he was born in the womb, he had a twin brother who passed away, and he had AIDS because of his father having AIDS, and his mother got it too. And he grew up with a disfigured body. He didn't develop properly because of his father having an STI. That was irreversible. So there are serious health risks here, and any intelligent man or woman would be wise to stay away from this lifestyle. I mean, this is just a punishment from God if you live in this way. And to think that this woman with 100 bodies isn't going to have some type of illness, it can happen. Prevention is better than cure. Number 6, lack of self-control. The more partners, lack of self-control, frequent casual sex, it indicates impulsiveness, lack of discipline, prioritizing instant pleasure over more meaningful goals. Self-control and patience are essential for building deeper, lasting fulfillment in life and relationships. As a man, you want a woman that has self-control. She's beautiful. She could sleep around if she wanted to, but she chooses not to. That's attractive. A good woman wants the same thing. You're a handsome guy. You could sleep around if you wanted to. And I know some incel in the comment is going to be crying about it's harder for women than it is for men. No, it's not. If you really wanted to sleep around as a guy, you could go to a bar or a club every single night and you'll find some girl who's willing to sleep with you, who doesn't have values. So the point is, if you have enough self-control to turn away from this lifestyle, you take care of yourself, you look average, you look decent, and you choose to have self-restraint because you're holding out for a woman you love, that's attractive to a good woman. Number 7, a high body count will conflict with morals and spiritual values. For people who value sexual purity or follow spiritual beliefs, obviously I'm Christian, some of you may be something else, having a high body count can lead to feelings of guilt or internal conflict. And the thing is, the reason why I put moral, not just spiritual values, is because this is ingrained in you. Anybody who has had a high body count I get a lot of people confess these things to me. I'm like a priest, right? Whether it's emails, DMs, or clients that I work with who have a high body count, there's never been one who hasn't regretted it. They all regret it in the end. They all wish they could turn back time and not live that way, man or woman. So this poor young girl who's racking up 100 body count, it will catch up to her eventually. And it's a warning unto you to stay away from this lifestyle, because it will catch up to you as well. You will have guilt. You will have internal conflict. And on a side note of traditional cultures, many view sex as something sacred, meant for committed relationships like marriage. So straying from these values can make it harder to feel aligned with personal or religious beliefs, especially when you want to find a good woman, especially when you want to find someone who's serious. If they have good values, they're going to vet you. They're going to ask about your past, and a lot of men will lie. I've seen guys myself, men that I've grown up with who were promiscuous, and I'd kind of stay away from them because I don't want that to rub off on me. And I've seen them lie to good, innocent women about their past, but they always get found out in the end. Number 8, trust and long-term relationship issues. In long-term relationships, knowing someone has had many sexual partners can lead to trust issues. It may raise concerns about commitment or loyalty, making it harder to build trust and security with a future partner. That's reality. There are so many cases of men or women who didn't vet properly, and maybe after months they finally ask their girlfriend or their boyfriend about their sexual history, and they find out that the number is a little bit too high, and they just can't see them the same. You won't have to worry about lying if you just don't have a high body count. And finally, last but not least, lack of fulfillment. In the end, sexual conquests don't provide any lasting happiness. Deep, meaningful relationships and personal growth are more fulfilling than fleeting encounters. What seems exciting in the moment will pale in comparison to the joy of a loving, committed relationship. In short, a high body count can create emotional, physical, and relational challenges, and it will often lead to short-lived satisfaction, but can damage your ability to form a lasting connection. It is nothing to be proud for. High body counts are shameful. This woman, what she's done, is very sad. The men that engaged with her are just as bad as each other. But for those of you watching who are young and single, if you haven't been promiscuous at all, hopefully this video has stopped you outright in its tracks of ever considering going down that path. If you have been promiscuous, or you currently are and you are going down this path, hopefully this helps you put on the brakes and avoid damaging yourself further. And like I always like to say to men, keep your purity. It's like you're being loyal to your future wife. How would you feel knowing that the love of your life is out there right now getting rammed through? Not a good feeling, right? But if you demand a level of purity from your spouse, future spouse, you need to be able to offer the same, or else you'd be considered a hypocrite. So this has been quite clear why this is just disgusting. It's wrong on so many levels, and high body counts for men and women alike is nothing to be proud of. I hope there's a revival of traditional values in the culture, and this can serve as a reminder of what not to be, what not to do, and what to stay far away from. I'll link down below some more videos, as I mentioned throughout this one, related to this topic. And for those of you that like to stay in touch, learn more about what I do, join my relationship community. There'll be a link down below as well. And let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. I'm really curious to know what you guys have to say. And with that said, I'll see you all in the next one.